Global oil and gas prices are rising as tensions escalate in West Asia between the United States and Israel on one side and Iran on the other. The conflict has raised concerns about shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, a key route that carries nearly one-fifth of the world's oil and liquefied natural gas supplies. The impact is also being felt in India. Benchmark stock indices Sensex and Nifty fell more than 1% on March 6th after a brief recovery a day earlier as rising crude prices unsettled markets. Amid the uncertainty, the US Treasury Department issued a temporary 30-day waiver allowing Indian refiners to buy Russian oil that is currently stranded at sea. US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the move was aimed at ensuring oil continues to reach global markets despite disruptions caused by the war. He said the measure was deliberately short-term and would not provide significant financial benefit to Russia. The waiver came after months of US pressure on New Delhi to reduce purchases of Russian crude. India needed this as it remains vulnerable to energy supply shocks. The country's crude reserves cover only about 25 days of demand, and nearly 40% of its oil imports come from West Asia, much of it transported through the Strait of Hormuz. Russia, meanwhile, says the conflict has increased demand for its energy exports. A day after Washington issued the waiver, the Kremlin said the war involving Iran had boosted demand for Russian oil and gas. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters that Russia remains a reliable supplier of energy, both through pipelines and in liquefied form.
Мы фиксируем повышение спроса, существенное повышение спроса на российские энергоресурсы, энергоносители в связи с войной в Иране. Да, Россия была и остается надежным поставщиком как нефти, так и газа, причем как трубного газа, так и сжиженного газа. И также остается и способна гарантировать постоянство всех тех поставок, которые законтрактовал.
Peskov declined to comment on the possible volume of Russian oil supplies to India following Washington's waiver. Despite this, the International Energy Agency has warned against returning to Russian gas, even as energy prices rise. Speaking in Brussels after a meeting on global energy markets with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and EU commissioners, IEA Executive Director Fatih Birol said such a move would be economically and politically misguided.
The current the crisis in the Middle East in some quarters leads questions about the Russia, whether to go back to Russia or not. Of course, it will depend the countries their own decision. But my personal view is, first of all, one of the Europe's historical mistake was the over-reliance of its energy sources on one single country, which is Russia. Given the bitter experience Europeans had with Russia, given the very fact that there will be a lot of LNG anyways coming to markets, and the gas markets turning from the markets of sellers to buyers, I think to look Russia as an alternative option for getting gas will be economically and, in my view, politically wrong. Today, there is a plenty of oil in the market. I repeat, there is a plenty of oil in the market. Our problem is a problem of dislocation. It's a problem of logistics, and this is a serious problem. It is in the European countries' interest for their energy security and for the sovereignty of the European countries to make more of their renewable energies, solar, wind, and others, and making a strong comeback for the nuclear power.
European governments and industries have been urging the European Union to step in as energy prices surge. Birol said Europe should avoid repeating past mistakes, warning that the region had previously suffered from heavy dependence on a single supplier, Russia.